Hey everyone, hey Wellness Crew, and welcome to today's reading of the Gene Keys Golden Path, Love, a Guide to Your Venus Sequence by Richard Rudd. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and or join one of the membership tiers as it is popping off. Contemplating your EQ. As you can see, the sphere of your EQ is something of a plunge into your watery depths. For most of us, this inner emotional healing is a labor of love that we will engage in for most of our lives. It is the place where our wounding is at its most tender, before it has reached the mind, but not as deep as our physical structure, where it emerges from. As you learn what it means to contemplate your life at an emotional level, you will increase the pitch of your emotional life. Feelings may well become more intense as the light of awareness shines upon them. Hidden feelings may also emerge as you plumb the depths of the ideology that was formed out of the emotional challenges you experienced when you were young. The allegory of your EQ is reflected in the image of a river that moves over rapids, cascades, and even at times, waterfalls. This part of your Venus sequence will take you on an emotional journey that at times seems turbulent and out of control, and at other times seems calm and at peace. The Venus stream unlocks our sequence inside us in this way. Emotional patterns contain powerful charges held within the DNA, and as your awareness unlocks each pattern, you can either be overwhelmed by it and go under, or you can steer yourself down the cascade into safer and quieter waters. The other aspect of this work is that it will test you over and over again. Sometimes you will succeed and keep your head above the water, and sometimes you will forget and take the plunge. It is important to be patient and compassionate with yourself. It takes time to bring awareness into such deep-seated patterns and shadows. Above all, contemplation on your EQ will enhance your relationships. This is like polishing the mirror of your relationships so that nothing can remain hidden from you. You must remember two things above all. The first is to be accountable for your own feelings. They emerge from within your own DNA, and although they may be triggered by others, it is up to you to learn how to handle them inside yourself in a way that is respectful to you and others. The second thing of paramount importance is always to keep a wider perspective on your life. It is easy for us to become bogged down in our shadow patterns, expecting them to change or be transformed overnight. Our shadows are a part of who we are, and this work is about integrating all aspects of our nature, both the wonderful parts and the unpleasant bits. The Venus sequence is an intense spiritual and emotional work to undertake, and it requires commitment. But it also doesn't have to be all heavy and hard work all the time. We all need to keep taking those pauses where we simply switch off, go out into nature, take a holiday, have a drink, watch a film, and do whatever brings us joy. You are a human being of many ages, and you carry the wound of ages. But you also carry the light of divinity inside your DNA, and this will continue to shine even when you may have forgotten it. We are a house of many mansions, a spectrum of different wavelengths and moods. We are an easel for consciousness to explore itself upon. You may not even understand the depths of the work you are undertaking as you travel this golden path. You may wonder whether anything is happening at all. These are natural states and feelings and are a part of the greater journey itself. The secret of this work is simply to keep carrying on. If you get lost, you can always come back to that place of trust. It always exists inside you. So free yourself from the idea that your journey must be a certain way. It is exactly as it is supposed to be in every moment. In the words of the ancient Sufis, al-safar zavar, voyaging is victory. 9. The pathway of love. Discovering the essential in your life. It has been said by many wise people that there are two paths to God. One is the path of meditation, and the other is the path of love. The path of meditation leads men and women away from the world into the retreats of inner silence and lonely contemplation. This path is well documented in all traditions, and there exists an abundance of structured paths and teachings to follow them, from Buddhism to Sufism to Christianity. The path of love, however, leads us not away from society and culture, but right into its beating heart. The path of love is the path of human relationship, of service and devotion. Because of its nature, the path of love is a wilder path. It emerges as we interact with life and the people and circumstances of our Dharma. It is a beautiful paradox that both paths lead to the same place. The path of meditation leads to love, and the path of love leads to meditation. In the Venus sequence, we follow the path of love. We use our daily lives and our relationships as the fuel of our spiritual transformation. This means that if you have a primary relationship, then you must place that relationship at the heart of your life. If you do not happen to have a primary relationship at the moment, then you must place all relationships at the heart of your life. If you are not able to make either of these inner commitments, it is better to be honest with yourself, and you may find that your natural path is that of meditation. If there is something that is more important to you than your loved one, your personal goals, your work, or career, for example, then you need to re-examine your commitment to the path of love. The Venus sequence is a coded pathway that lies within every human being. It is a clear path towards spiritual realization and eventual transcendence, but like all such undertakings, it requires a strong inner commitment. Whatever your feelings are in response to the above, they are perfectly acceptable. The realization of what is essential in life is a process. The only essential is love, but for many of us, this realization must come of its own accord and its own timing. If, however, you have already realized this truth, that the only essential is love, then you are truly ready to begin this work with your Venus sequence. The great advantage of the path of love is that it is completely inclusive. You can pursue your personal goals in life and still be right on the path of love. Indeed, the Venus sequence requires that you follow your outer purpose in life. The only question here is one of priorities. The following question is therefore a litmus test of your commitment. Are you willing to prioritize your primary relationship above all other aspects of your life? And if you happen to be single, are you willing to prioritize relationships above all other aspects of your life? You will notice that the questions above do not speak overtly of prioritizing love. This is because sometimes our relationships do not always feel loving. Sometimes a relationship with a parent, a partner, or a child can seem incredibly challenging. Your commitment must be to the relationship in all its seasons with all its karma. Nothing less than a total commitment will serve to unlock the fullness of your Venus sequence. A 99% commitment in this is no different from a 1% commitment. In the Venus sequence, the pathway of love is a powerful contemplation of the level of importance you give to love in your everyday life. Like each of the pathways along the golden path, this is an exciting journey rather than a static measurement. The pathway of love links the sphere of your EQ to the sphere of your SQ. And as you will see, your SQ describes you living your life with a permanently open heart. I lost my earring. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me take these out. I can't believe that. They just dropped off, or one did, the left one did. Oh no. Okay. That's so funny. I just need to find the backing really quickly. Okay, got it. Now let me just put it back on the earring. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it fell off. That's so funny. Okay. In the Venus sequence, the pathway of love is a powerful contemplation of the level of importance you give to love in your everyday life. Like each of the pathways along the golden path, this is an exciting journey rather than a static measurement. The pathway of love links the sphere of your EQ to the sphere of your SQ. And as you will see, your SQ describes your life with a permanently open heart. And if the EQ and the SQ doesn't make sense to you, it is the emotional quotient and the spiritual quotient. And you can get this information of your hologenetic profile at thegenekeys.com. It is the source of all love. What this means is that as you travel the meandering pathways of your Venus sequence, you are called upon to surrender more and more of your ego in the names of love. Through the sphere of your IQ, you must move beyond your mind and its tendency to undermine you. In the sphere of your EQ, which again is your emotional quotient, you must let go of the emotional patterns you have learned that keep closing your heart off to others. When your awareness awakens fully in the sphere of your SQ, which is your spiritual quotient, you will return to a simpler, more loving state that lies beyond the cries of the mind and the needs and urges of the emotions. It is here in this pathway of love that we learn once and for all to drop our ego and embrace a higher calling. The only essential there is, the call of love. The breakthrough and the flood. Our major work with the Venus sequence takes place in the spheres of the IQ and the EQ. We have already likened the pathway of intelligence. So IQ is the intelligence quotient, I believe. Don't quote me on that though, because sometimes I do forget. Okay. That links these spheres to the first pathway of challenge in the activation sequence. It follows then that the pathway of love is also a pathway of breakthrough. And this is most certainly the case. In the Venus sequence, the breakthrough is about love. As we begin to learn to transcend the ebb and flow of our emotions, we experience a profound opening of the heart. Unlike the emotional journey, it doesn't come in fits and starts, but comes all at once as a flood. We are flooded by the love that is released from within our DNA. So the next thing is a picture of, the core stability, breakthrough, and challenge. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah. So it just is showing you how the spiritual quotient, the emotional quotient, and the intelligent quotient are related to core stability. And if this is not making sense to you in any capacity, it's totally okay. Go to thegenekeys.com to get your hologenetic profile. All you have to do is put in a little bit of information about yourself, and then you'll receive it, and then this will all make a lot more sense to you. The flood of love, can only come when the dam inside us bursts. This can be a very intense aspect of working with your Venus sequence. because it involves getting in touch with the sacred wound inside your body. There will be times when you feel overwhelmed by a profound feeling of isolation. Isolation is the shadow keynote of this pathway of love. The sense of isolation can come in many ways. It can come as depression, anxiety, rage, grief, melancholy, or any other intensely uncomfortable feeling. Such feelings seem to go beyond the normal emotional spectrum. They seem to be lodged so deeply inside us that we feel they may never leave. You need to be alert to periods in which you find yourself in such a state, because despite what you may feel, you are touching the edge of holiness. The sacred wound lives inside each of us. It manifests as a vast sense of isolation, in which we cannot feel our heart, in which we appear to be rendered powerless. Often the wound is a physical sensation localized in the body. If you tune into your body, you may be able to sense where the wound appears for you. Sometimes the wound is not local, but a general numbing of all our faculties. Such states often precede the breakthrough of great love, but we must stay within the wound, wrapping our awareness around it for as long as it takes for the transformation to occur. This is how our great love has been dammed. And when the dam bursts, we experience a state of grace, a euphoric expansion throughout our body, and in particular our chest, as the flood of love breaks through. Support in melting the isolation. When we work with our heart as we journey through the Venus sequence, there are times when it is appropriate to have outside support, particularly as we get in touch with the cosmic wound inside us. A part of our healing may be to allow another to witness us in that vulnerable state and offer us solace and support. If we are looking for support, it is vital, however, to find someone who can truly empathize with you in that state. If you know such a person, then they will probably spring to mind right away. It is important to know that you are not looking to find someone who can help you get out of the uncomfortable state you may be in. We do not need to be fixed. We need to feel loved and accepted. Often the best form of support comes through physical touch, since it bypasses both mind and emotions and goes straight into the physical structure itself. In this respect, a really good intuitive body worker can help you to accept and embrace the more difficult moments of your transformation. The tenderness of the Universal Mother. As your awareness probes more deeply back into the patterns of your past, it will begin to explore the states of consciousness you inhabited in the first 7 years of your life. This period is mythically dominated by a single overarching figure, your mother. Regardless of your personal circumstances, your first 7-year cycle depicts the story of your relationship to a mother figure, whoever that is for you. Obviously, in most cases, this is your biological mother herself, although it can also be the father, or indeed any other person. While in the womb, we are held in the universal spirit of tenderness, and it is rare that a mother does not feel the same spirit of unconditional love towards their child at birth. Only the most intense personal trauma can dull such a special form of love. Whenever we get in touch with the sacred wound inside, we unconsciously cry out for the same spirit of tenderness represented by the mother. When you journey into the sphere of your SQ, which again is your spiritual quotient, you will discover that this universal spirit actually exists everywhere at all times and is not dependent on any other human being. This is the crux of our inner healing. All of our relationship issues and struggles can be traced back to this deep internal cry for the tender touch of the Universal Mother. As you begin to lift free from the emotional ties and shadows of your EQ, so you will be following in the footsteps of those great souls who have walked the pathway of love before you. Reading and imbibing the words of these ecstatics can be a further bolster to your heart as you continue in your epic voyage along the golden path. So on the next live stream of this reading, it will be the sphere of your SQ, which again is your spiritual quotient. I highly suggest you go to thegenekeys.com, get your hologenetic profile, look more into human design, get your body graph chart, just so that way you'll kind of be able to follow along a little bit better with these readings. And the reason that I'm providing these readings is because not everybody has access to these particular books. So I just wanted to give back because the Gene Keys and Human Design have helped me so much in my personal development. And they've helped me so much be able to kind of see and understand what my purpose is, what my schedule is going to be with my life, how I'm going to be able to respond to things, and what my life is going to look like. So I find it very helpful. I hope you do as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and or join one of the membership tiers as it is popping off. And I'll see you on the next video or live stream. Be well, stay wild as well.